All praises to the Most High Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who are well. Shalom to the all elect. Now, I just wanted to do a quick testimonial because we can see the days are speeding up, and as the scriptures say, towards the end, the Most High will speed up. Time for the sake of the elect. Lest no flesh be saved. Because if the Most High doesn't come back, there's not going to be anything left. And you can see, let's get that scripture real quick. Yeah, that's it. Matthew 24:22. Except those days be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake those days shall be shortened. Because this man is just going full throttle, with his plans. It says here in a news article, cats and dogs may need a CV vaccine to curb spread, scientists say. Now, anyone who's been around anyone who's actually had it, because I've met at least 2, 3, maybe 4 people who've actually had it that I've spoke to firsthand who've had it, and they told me, I had it, my whole family had it. I met a man today, I'm just going to specify him. He said he had it, his whole family had it, and what he did was he drank ginger, lemon and honey, and he'd basically hold a towel over steaming water and inhale the smoke from turmeric and something else that he mentioned. It was turmeric and another herb. And this was a Elamite, and he was telling me, herbs are for the healing. Now, I know he's not in the scriptures, but even he understood that herbs were for healing. So, the brothers like to say how a lot of these heathen nations are more likely to listen to scriptures than Jake. Because you listen to Jake, Jake actually wants to follow this man. They completely believe in what this man has in store for them. They're telling you now need to, VC your dog, for lack of a better term, which is just ridiculous. At the end of the day, the earth was given into the hands of man to look after, and what this man is doing is completely abominable. And yeah, there's another one I see at Sports Center. Just a few stuff. The Heat plan to use CV sniffing dogs to screen fans who want to attend their games. So just like the elders and their brothers said, from the apostles all the way down, as time goes on, this guy is gonna be having a firmer grip, on society, and he's doing it through attrition, and attrition is where you wear down your enemy. You don't attack them straight away, you wear them down. So you might not necessarily attack them straight away, you attack their victual convoys, their food convoys, so that they're going to be weak, and then you start picking them off. This is how this man likes to do. He likes to be insidious, which is another word. It's kind of like another word for attrition, where he'll you don't actually see his plans, until it's over you. You know what I mean? So this is how this man is in everything that he's doing. And you can tell how his spirit is, because I saw this, and it said, and even somebody else mentioned it, in Uganda, white tourists refuse to share the pool with a Zimbabwean journalist, Leonard Makombe, because he's black. Now, you gotta be a bugged out Hamite to call your child Leonard when his second name is Makumbi, and I'm sure he has African. They have plenty of African names they could have picked from. But these nations like to pertain onto these people. But it's pretty clear from how he treats you. He has complete contempt for you, because you're not gonna see as a quote unquote white man, call his child Kofi or Anan or any of these African names, or Kosia or none of that stuff. But yeah, so-called black people, even Israelites will call their children after these people, which just shows you who's in power, because everybody's emulating this man. And this woman, has a comment: imagine going to Africa and being mad that there are Africans there. There's another article, and this just shows you how, you know, the spirit that these people are in right now. Because even the elders said it. They said this man's gonna come in, and he's gonna push this LGBT agenda, which is just furthering what Obama did before. You know, he's reversed Trump's transgender military ban. So, you know, as things are kicking off, you know, the world is turning more and more degenerate. And just to kick this one off, or finish off these small little articles, you know, somebody's made this little post saying Atlanta's so gay, I just accepted it. A nigga told me I was thick, and I was like, you see it? And kept walking, bro. I ain't even gonna argue with niggas no more. So that's the spirit of the earth, you know. What's the saying? If you can't beat them, join them. So even though he may not necessarily agree with it, you know, Jake is just pretty much gonna turn his face to the side. You know, they've joined onto the heathen. You know, even though the scriptures say, "Choose not their oppressor," and then and envy none of his, envy not their oppressor and choose none of his ways. But you know, when you're dealing with Jake, what they really like to do is they like to really, you know, join onto this man and join in the system, because in the back of their heads they actually realize that there is no saving them, you know. And at the end of the day, you don't really have anything here. Like our brother mentioned earlier, you can have a house, you can mortgage, you know, you don't pay a tax, they take it. You don't pay car tax, you don't pay road tax on your car, they'll take your car, they'll clamp it and they'll take it. So you don't even own anything here. And when you look back into the Leviticus law, what you have to do was give 10%. You know, if you didn't, you know, they weren't going to come and take your home away from you. You know, you did it of your own free will. And at the end of the day, you're supposed to do that. I mean, it's righteous. So you will want to follow these laws, because you're not being oppressed if if you don't, well, at the end of the day, the law's gonna kill you if you don't follow the laws. But the Lord does it in righteousness. He's not doing it on the wicked side like this man is. You know, he'll completely take 40% of your inheritance tax that you want to give to your children. And this is Exodus 23:2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. And, you know, just a personal testimony, because people like to think, you know, the Lord doesn't do certain things or set things up in certain ways. You know, I even lost my job a month ago. And what happened was he called me, you know, I went in, and I just had a feeling he was going to get rid of me. So I've basically given in all my stuff to the place. You know, I've handed in my uniform, or whatever the case may be. And he's like, you know what this is, don't you? He was like, yeah, you already know, don't you? You already know, don't you? That's what he said. And I was just looking at him like, whatever. And I was like, right, so are you, because something happened? And I was like, right, is it because of that? And he was like, it's not just because of that, it's just other stuff. You know, you calling people stupid and stuff like that. Because I was in a situation where I'm going to work and I'm ending up having to do extra work because of somebody else not doing their work properly. So now I have to actually do more work. I'm now having to do his work because he can't do it. And what happens is somebody else will do the work and they'll have it ready, and I'll come and I'll finish it off. And because he was slower than me, it's like he'd actually slow down him readying my stuff so that he wouldn't have to do it twice. So he'd get it ready so that both of us will do it. So then I'm being delayed so that it doesn't cause him the inconvenience of him having to do it twice. You see what I mean? And it was really frustrating me. So I'm like, yo, these people are stupid. And, you know, the boss, he didn't really like that, because, you know, at the end, what does it say? As the rulers of a city, or the judge of the city, so are the people. So you're the manager there. You're hiring all these stupid people, and I'm calling them stupid. You really must feel some type of way, because when I used to say that, it's like he used to bug him. At the end of the day, if I call you a paedophile and you're not a paedophile, you're not going to be offended. You'd only be offended if you were a paedophile yourself. So if I'm calling people stupid and you feel some type of way about that, most likely you're kind of stupid yourself. And I could tell that's what it was, because he made a mistake where he didn't read a name properly, or he didn't read something properly. And I'm like, yo, I didn't make that mistake. That was you, you know, because he mixed up some stuff. And I didn't even know at that time, but I later found out that my manager, he had dyslexia. So it was his mistake, but he never admitted it. And this is a man that will say, I'm honest with my feelings, so on and so forth. This is why it says in the scriptures, it says you have to be as wise as harmless as doves, and wise as serpents, because you have to be able to discern these people and what spirit they're in. And the Lord actually took me out of that. I actually what's the word? I appealed, and I managed to move to a different location. And actually, where I am now, after a few couple stuff, my work is actually easier. So, there's another scripture that pertains to that, which is Genesis 50:20. But as for you, you thought evil against me, but Yahweh meant it unto good, to bring to pass as it is this day, to save much people. So I could have thought, it was meant to be bad, but Yahweh meant it for different, because at the end of the day, man's goings are of the Lord. And I was in that situation because I wasn't humble enough to just do it and not say a word. I was just, I'm like, oh, this guy's stupid or whatever. I'm airing my grievances when I should have just been getting on my work. And the Lord did that to, when something happens to you, you have to think to yourself, why am I going through this? What is the Lord trying to teach me? You have to be circumspect, and you have to, look at things in hindsight and think, what should I learn from this? What's the Most High trying to teach me? And for me, I just thought, I need to be more humble. So I'm at the new place. I'm seeing people make, certain mistakes. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just doing my work and just not minding it. And there's Enduring Botch was talking today about how, you go through all this stuff, and it's refining you, and it's making you more humble, because knowledge puffers up. So you might be whatever your job, even though a job is nothing. So now you're getting puffed up and you're thinking you're better than people. And then all of a sudden you lose your job because people are looking at you like you're cocky, even though you do your job well, but it's rubbing people the wrong way. In the same way that, people walk past, the prophets on the streets, and they're not saying, they're not talking directly to you, they're just bringing out the scriptures. But these scriptures, because it's a double-edged sword, it's cutting you, because it cuts to the soul. Was that scripture? To the flesh, the word. I can't remember what that scripture was. No, the words of the Lord. And I don't want to butcher this scripture. Yeah, for this is Hebrews 4:12. For the word of Yahweh is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit. Let's see if there's even to the soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. So through the scriptures, I could see that this man didn't necessarily like me, and he had an issue against me. When I ended up getting my job, he actually said, I didn't fire you, because he actually wasn't meant to fire me. So when I've gone to his boss, he's like, oh, I didn't meant to fire you, because you came in and you gave your uniform. I assumed, you resigned and all of this stuff, even though he was telling me, I have a problem with you and this and this and that. And he was just trying to make it seem as if I was a lie, even though he said, you're a good worker, but you got a bit of a mouth. And even certain things like that, when people say things like that, you need to look and say, why would you say I'm competent but I have a bit of a mouth? You need to see in the context that people are saying it. And at the end of the day, what does it say? Numbers 12:3. Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. So just a testimonial. I should have been meek, like Moses was meek. Not to say I'm comparable to Moses, but at the end of the day, the Lord loves humility. So we're supposed to be humble when we're going through, this world, and we're supposed to be able to discern what's going on. And even, at the end of the day, if you're not humble, and even if you are humble, the Lord can just straight kill you, because it says here, Exodus 33:11, and the Lord Yahweh spoke unto Moses face to face, as a man speaketh unto his friend, and he turned again into the camp. But his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle. You know, at the end of the day, you know, he loved Moses, but he killed him. So who am I? You know, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the elders, apostles of James, who will well, shalom to the elect.